Mmm. Mmm. Popcorn. Oh, what's going on, YouTube world? Steve, Michael, Dave, IRP 179. Uh, the long-awaited, much talked about, one of the projects we've been working on. Um, take a little walk down memory lane tonight. A little saunter, if you will. A not so brisk strut. So don't expect any John Travolta Saturday Night Fever paces. Um, yeah, we'll do that. But him walking as quick as he did, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Just like Johnny Travolta, we're all much older than we were probably when we first saw that movie, if we've seen it. Don't want to make assumptions.
This is true. This is true.
So that'll
I
be
will
heavy.
also
We might
I will
talk about.
also I will also preface this. Don't hold me to this, which is always the caveat when I open my mouth a lot of the time. Be
Mhm.
looking for an upcoming news survey as we plan on doing this on a monthly basis ish. It's always ish because we
Mhm.
just don't know. Uh, so we will put out a new community post asking for votes. So ultimately, y'all get to dictate what we show next. Uh, it will be three of the four from the last,
Mhm.
plus an additional, which we're still trying to identify. And at some point, there will be some hockey ones. So for those of you hockey folks, if you happen to be here, I'm sure that will excite you. Uh,
At least
but
mildly.
but that will also be uh, down the road at some point. But there will be some hockey related selections,
Mhm.
uh, which I will gladly move myself to where like Michael is currently in the program, and it will be Dave and Vinny because I won't have anything to show. Shut up, Dave.
Come on now.
I won't have anything to show.
Let's be serious here. Come on now.
Well, I am being serious. I won't have anything to show. So, regardless of what everybody says, not happening.
We'll see.
And before anybody asks, Vinny is resting. That's all you need to know. Vinny is here in spirit. He's taking it easy. I
Yeah,
won't
it's
say.
not an eternal resting. It's
No,
just
no, no,
rest.
no, no.
When,
He's
when you
he's
start going down, he's here in spirit. People are like, oh,
no,
hold
he's
on, let's find.
he's taking it easy. He's chillaxing this evening. He may pop in a little bit later. He may, but he's just taking it easy. It's been a little bit of a stressful few days, and we'll leave it at that. If he wants to share more details, we'll let him share more details. But that's all you're getting. So don't ask, Eric. So, anyways, Dave.
So yeah, tonight Skybox Premium, 1997. Um, I know, I know you opened a bunch.
Yes.
I don't know how much I opened, and a lot of the times what we opened, it wasn't really availability. It was okay, 95, 90. Let's start with 93. 93, we opened a bunch. You had a insane rookie class that was hugely hyped. Same with 94. only egged on by the Mel Kiper, I think Bill Polian draft chatter with Trent Dilfer and Marshall Falk, and this is why the Colts are always an also ran, blah blah blah. And it's like, but there's still a lot of good rookies. You still want your Marshall Falk cards. Hopefully, get a Heath Schuler. Again, saying that 30 years later, it's you almost want to drug test us all and be like, really? Come on now. Ooh, you mean the like congressman in Tennessee or wherever he's at? Yes. 95 was, that'll always be my favorite rookie class of all time, and it's not even close.
For
Not
a
because
multitude of reasons.
of Terrell Davis and Kerry Collins. I mean, it's just like at that time, if you bought a 95 pack and you basically hit anything in the top 10 that wasn't named Mike Mamula, you were doing well. You could easily move that either in trade, or if you had a shop around, you could sell it.
Yes, and that even included Sherman Williams.
Ask how after Sherman Williams. Until it was drug charges, and then Sherman Williams decided to paint himself out of the league very quickly. Yeah, I mean, there's so many guys that you could just sit there and Kyle Brady, you could move his stuff because again, the Jets starting to make noise, and again, they didn't do much, but it's always big market.
Warren Sapp.
Yeah, Sapp. Good job, Vikings. Derek Alexander. Yeah, take him over Warren Sapp.
Derek Brooks, if I'm not mistaken. Derek Brooks was also 95. Now, they weren't top picks.
And that's the thing. You had a lot of top picks that were good, and you had a lot of depth to the draft that was good.
Yep.
Yeah, the two that we'll bring up all the time is that guy over there, his main PC, and then your favorite, my favorite, our favorite, Curtis Martin.
Yep.
So Antonio Freeman was a 95 pick, I think 3rd round out of Virginia Tech, maybe later, maybe 5th.
Oh shit, Tony Baselli.
Well, he was top 2, 3 pick.
He was, but like from a 95 SP perspective, he didn't get a foil.
No, well, and
he didn't get a foil.
You didn't have many linemen then getting that. Especially,
and that's true.
Harken back even to Mandrich in '89. It wasn't like he was the cover boy for the Packers and score 89 and all that stuff. So,
and that's true, 100%.
Do you think a couple years earlier, Willie Rofe didn't have a lot of fanfare either? I mean, people knew of him. It's like, oh, this guy's going to be somebody that's going to be a reckoning, but and I know there's more. But 96, you had a lot of receivers. Yep. Start with Keyshawn.
Harrison.
Owens is later, but you have Harrison, Terry Glenn. I know there's more.
Keyshawn, which I know you already mentioned. At least I'm pretty sure you did.
I don't think Chargers didn't have anyone.
There was
Denver had Jeff Lewis later on and John Mobley. Oakland, who cares? Kansas City. No. Cleveland or Baltimore. No, they had Ray Lewis. Pittsburgh. No. Yancey Thigpen would have been like a 95 quote unquote rookie in the card market. Cincinnati had Darnay and Pickens. Miami, no. New England, Glenn.
Brewski. They had Brewski.
Yeah. Again, it was a perimeter draft for like receivers, and then you had like the one 2 years ago, like the nuts and bolts guys, the interior line.
defensive
backers type.
lineman. Yep.
You had a lot of like the guys you're going to build around, but aren't necessarily insanely collectible until they go to the Hall of Fame or start having Hall of Fame careers. I think Green Bay, nothing. Vikings. I mean, I'm trying to remember when Matthew hatched. I think that was the next year. But again, this is like the Pacific thing where it's like, hey, let's throw Adam Vinatieri in there. Let's throw Kurt Warner types. All these situations where it's a wild card, basically, and plug in somebody.
Rob Johnson. Is it Rob Johnson? Or was it Brad Johnson? Which one of the Johnson quarterbacks only has a handful of rookies too?
Brad. He had he had a wild card.
Wild card. Yep.
Rob had a bunch because he was a Jaguar.
Yep, and that's why I was like, okay, which one was it? I was I was brain farting. But hey, I can at least admit it.
Correct. I'm trying to think. I mean, James Thrash might have had, I don't know if it was 96 or 98, somewhere in there. But again, not a highly drafted guy and not somebody that's like, I can't wait to buy his cards. This is like, have a couple years of solid production. It's like, maybe I'll look for something for him. Detroit down.
Yeah, I can't think of any. Of course, I could grab the freaking binder and do a thumb through of 96 Topps Chrome and see what all rookies are there.
I know there's oh fuck, Buffalo, Eric Moulds.
Oh, yep, there you go. Hey, don't share too much about the book. Dave has his copy. I'm still waiting for my wife to actually fulfill her obligation for Christmas and my birthday. So don't spoil too much, Jeff, because like it's still high on the priority list. But I'm forcing my wife to fulfill her obligation of buying it for me. Dave has his. Dave has shown it. So we know Dave has his. But he hasn't started reading it, though. That I know.
And again, that's something I want to read. That's the problem. There's stuff I want to read, and it's just trying to shoehorn into the time, and you want to devote.
I've got a question, though. I think you're probably going to be in the same situation as me. Like, if I start reading it, I don't want to put it down because I want to fucking read it. Like, I want to read the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not going to
just because I want to read it.
And if it's because I want to put it down, it's because I'm tired. It's just I'm starting to lose like information as I'm reading it. If I can't retain the stuff, okay, now I know to put it down. But still, it's like you want to devote that at least a 90-minute block.
Yep.
To try to rip through whatever you can, and so yeah, that's. I'm trying to think of what else there was. I know there's somebody. I don't know if it was from Texas A&M out of that draft. There's a couple guys, and I'm just trying to remember like score and score select.
Yeah, don't give me the line.
I am.
Because I think of SP and, of course, Topps Chrome when I start thinking of in Bowman's Best. Just because Bowman's Best had certain rookies that other sets didn't. I.e. Ray Lewis and Teddy Bruschi were the two big ones. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank, Dave. But then again, it's not like I have a habit of looking through some of my older sets sometimes, as I probably should.
Bobby Engram.
Okay, yeah.
The Bears from Penn State.
I was expecting Michael to jump into some of these because like he knows a lot of the older players too. It's not like he doesn't know some of these things.
He's liking the struggle.
I didn't start following football until 1999. I was baseball.
Okay, but even so, okay, that makes sense, I guess. But
I
you
I know the players' names you're saying, but I won't know the year they were drafted.
yeah, but I'm willing to bet you know 98.
Yeah, 98's a pretty popular one.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of what I was getting at. Like I could see you more focusing on one specific year, but like 98, it's hard not to freaking be able to rattle off the top guys fairly quick, right?
Yeah. I know 2009.
I wonder
Yes,
why.
yes, you do. Some guy drafted out of USC to some green and yellow.
There was a
team.
whole bunch of guys out of USC in 2009.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah, what's his name for the Bengals? The other backer.
Mayaluga.
Right,
Yep.
Maluga, Cushing.
Yep, for Houston.
Yep. And then you also had Sanchez came out that year.
Buck Bumble.
Yep. And I'm sure there was a running back too. They always had running backs and receivers coming out. There's probably a Mike Williams because there's been at least 7 of those guys that have gone through USC.
This is true.
Probably a lineman, offensive lineman. They always seem to have some tackle that's highly regarded. And
there's another linebacker because there's a quad auto out of, I think it's SP Authentic. It might be out of Exquisite, but there's a 4-way signature with a guy for the Colts that I'm blanking on. But
obviously,
it's got
so am I.
It's probably in my, not in my case, but in one of my boxes of the overflow.
Or like the SP, what is
Chirography.
it? Or whatever, one of those type of goofy.
Yeah, it might be out of Chirography, the Chirography ones.
Because they also had SP signatures.
They definitely had that product. I don't think that was an 09 product.
See, and that's where I'm drawing the blank.
Yeah.
It was Nate Davis's rookie year, which I think is 09. Yeah. So it would have been
Miami of Ohio or Ball State or wherever the fuck he was at.
Yep. Laurinaitis, Edelman, Stafford, those guys were all 09.
Yeah.
I think Sean Green. I think Sean Green.
Sean Green.
LaShawn McCoy.
Yep.
Hudson Fan 15, Tom, one of his guys. Donald Brown.
Montario Hardesty, I think, was 09.
Yeah. Mohamed Massaquoi.
Arian Foster.
Yep.
Jonathan Dwyer. No, not John. Dwyer was 2010. I thought there was another Steeler, though.
Rest in
Mike
peace,
Wallace.
Monte Davis. Monte Davis was 09.
Mike Wallace.
What's that?
Mendenhall, I think, was 09, yeah.
Yeah.
Up in Illinois.
I'm just trying to run through all the contenders autos in my head from the ugliest year of contenders ever.
Robisky, I think was 09.
Yep.
I'm picturing like Exquisite.
Marshawn Lynch was
7.
He was 7. That's right.
Yeah, he's 07.
Man, I'm trying to. Was Aaron
Deion
Curry?
Butler?
Was Aaron Curry the draft pick? Yeah.
4th or 5th overall from Wake Forest for Seattle.
And who was the lineman that the Rams took? Is it Smith? Jason Smith? No.
Yeah, from Baylor.
Yeah, he was a top 5 pick too.
Well, Orr was 09 too, if I'm not mistaken.
Who?
Michael Orr. from the movie.
Yeah, maybe he might have been. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure he was.
I don't think he had too many cards.
No, but I'm pretty sure he had an exquisite base rookie.
Oh, and I'm almost positive he has Topps Chrome rookie. I feel like I've seen it before.
Yeah, he didn't have a ton.
No.
Yeah, because I was sitting there because I opened 2 cases of 09 exquisite, so I'm trying to remember some of the rookies. Mike Wallace.
Yep, Mike Wallace was one.
Yep.
Because I was trying to remember
the 09 draft class was represented very well in that 2010 Super Bowl between Green Bay and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, very true.
Because our other first round pick, BJ Raji, he was number 7 pick, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 through 9, somewhere in those couple spots.
Yep.
Yeah, and I knew he had a base exquisite rookie because I think I pulled one.
I've got one in my collection that Joey sent me because that's one of Joey's guys.
Yep, him and his fat guys.
Yep. Love BJ Raji. Good dude who left his career to take care of family, and he didn't know if it was going to be temporary or not, and it was not. It was permanent.
Priorities, man.
Yep.
Something that we talk about here all the time.
Yes, sir.
Taking care of yourself and family. It's always comes first. All this shit is secondary. And if you got really good friends because of this, they ask about how things are going, if people are okay. It's what you do. It's too early to be yawning.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been doing it since I woke up this morning.
Well, that's never a good thing if you're yawning already when you wake up.
Oh, I did not want to get up at all.
I think we all can relate to that at
every
times.
day. That's every day. Yeah.
So to ensure that we actually get to why Michael, it kind of worked out. We wanted Michael to be here because he likes cards.
A little bit.
He's already seen some of these, but he would always like to see them again. But he wants to see cards, and it was one of those in which when we were talking about when we were going to have this episode, okay, I know Michael wants to be here, but he's not going to say he wants to be here because that's just how he is. But it's okay, we got to make sure Michael is here. Not watching it in the archives, not watching it via the live feed. No, Michael needs to be here. So, Dave, I don't know how we want to approach this because this is not one of those pre-rehearsed moments. We've always set the expectation that we have other ideas that will come at some point. Those just take more time, more
and a lot of time, as some of these ideas have been talked about for
2.5 years.
Yeah.
So it boils down to time. Sometimes it's funds, sometimes figuring out formatting, just know that we want it to be done well, which is why we haven't talked about it much. We haven't shared any details, and it's one of those in which it can spurn into multiple episodes. But it's time, and to a degree, it's a little bit of fundage, because the way we want to do this, it's not going to be cheap in certain situations.
We want to have, if we can, always the cards in hand. It's easy to show you guys and gals and whoever's watching something off eBay. We can pull up the screen and that's great. I mean, if it's something like a Jordan patch auto, that's probably the way we're going to show it. But if there's like a basketball product out there from that 96, 97, 98 time frame, it's like we can pull something together. Even now with Michael, he's got Garnett stuff that's from that era that's pretty fancy as well. So we want to be able to, and again, if people know this or not, I don't care. Go try to do it better than us, because you're not as knowledgeable, even if you've been doing this since 2019. We want to give you the knowledge. We want to give you the example of the cards. We want to make sure we're not leading you down a path of misinformation and bullshit, because we want to feel better about ourselves in our collecting journey. We want to do it because that's what we wish we always had, and we're thankful for a lot of the Beckett information in there, where you're sitting there and looking, and you're like, okay, this is a 1 per box card. If I get like 2 in a box, I'm feeling good. So I got 2 in a box. We're not saying, well, I think this is a 1 in 10 pull ratio, and turn out it's like a 1 in 90 or 1 in 288, and you're like, well, you start doing that, and guess what? People are going to turn you off, because you're like, well, they're loud mouths, they're foul mouth, drunk, cocky oracles, and bald headed, morbidly obese dipshits that just don't fucking stop swearing, or it just. So, as much as we want to put this shit out and put it out, I won't say rapid fire, but I mean, if you watched an old Encyclopedia Britannica commercial back in like 1991 between your Fresh Prince of Bel-Air show, the commercial came on, and you get the new volume every what? 4 to 6 weeks. So that's what we'd like to do, because you don't want to oversaturate it and have folks get bored with it, because it's like a washing machine. Put it in there, wash it. No, not cards, folks. Topics. Spin cycle, put it in the dryer, dry, done. Repeat. And we don't want to be the same people repeating the same shit over and over again, because we've said it before. There's a lot of topics out there. Take a shit on them. Nobody cares. Just because somebody else that's got 8,000 subscribers or whatever bullshit, they start talking about something, doesn't mean you need to parrot whatever they're saying. Nobody cares about the person that's got 8,000 subscribers talking, or 10 million followers, or whatever the fucking case may be. It's because shit in the hobby is maybe slow for a while. Then take a break. You don't need to be talking about cleaning cards. Nobody fucking cares. Just go die. Everyone. I'm just tired. Tired of bullshit. Billy Madison, that's what you want to do with your cards. You want to fucking blow your nose, and the teacher that puts the boogers in her fucking tits. You want to clean your cards? Clean them with fucking boogers.
Miss Lippy.
Yeah.
Miss Lippy.
Do that.
Now, we're not going to be spouting off odds for these segments.
Mm.
We may give some context, but what Dave was alluding to is stuff that's been in discussions for a long time, making sure that we do our due diligence and what we bring to the table is in fact informative. This is more, I want to say, off the cuff, because we did have to do some research, relight the flame, because it had been a while since I thought of 97 SP Authentic. Wow. Skybox Premium. Jeez. Ay. See, now I'm spitting off other sets that we're not even talking about.
We haven't even got it going yet.
Yeah.
We're on the rails.
maybe something that is on the survey at some point. I don't know, but that's not what I'm going with. But it's one of those in which, let's face it, 97. I mean, that's what 31 years ago.
No,
30. What is it?
I'm glad you're not an accountant.
20.
Yikes.
20 something. Sorry, I don't feel like mathing. I graduated in 97. I was 18. I'm 45. So whatever it is, 26, 20.
27. You're close. You're getting there. You're getting there.
That was rough.
Fuck you, Michael. It's almost 30 years.
31. What? 2028? Really? Did I miss 4 years? What the?
Shut up. Both of y'all can kiss my ass. I
Like,
never
what?
claimed to be a.
Naomi graduating in a month? What the fuck happened? What happened to her career? I gotta find out.
I never claimed to be a math major.
Thank God.
Even though I did get an A in calculus. Go figure.
It shows.
Hey. Advanced math, simple math, hey.
Oh, yeah. That calculus, man, I love getting an A, but what? 1997, 2024, 31. Yeah, that. Shot in the dark, I guess. I mean, whatever.
Fuck you, Dave. Like, seriously? Is that what we're going to focus on? Both of you? Fuckers?
No, just a little bit here. It's okay.
My dog's even judging you right now.
Keep that up. Y'all are going to be like 20 in the 25 national. Y'all are going to be sleeping on the fucking patio.
As long as it doesn't rain.
At least Dave will. Michael may room with somebody else after hearing that.
Well, it ain't gonna be
throw your ass on the patio. So, anyways, like, I opened a lot of it in 97. I knew a lot of the insert sets. I knew a lot of I knew a lot of that. But to ensure we are coming to the table with everything surrounding this set, we did have to do a little bit of extra research.
And so much so that we bought the wrong fucking redemption. I do have one coming in that's going to be, and of course I bought it, I think, middle of last week. I'm like, come on, it's a fucking, I don't even care if you put it in an envelope without anything on it. Just get it to me, and nope.
Potato. They look the same from 97. Like, at least they look the same.
I know.
So, like, yeah, it sucks. But there was a parallel that, and like I said, doing the research, I wanted to make sure, okay, I remember all these. So I started verifying. Okay, here's all these. I started pulling cards. Because the whole objective, like I said, is to sit there and have stuff in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I stumbled across a parallel that I had no idea about. And opening up as much as what I did, I would have been like, okay, why didn't I not know about this?
Mm-hmm.
So it did educate me a little bit more. It educated Dave a little bit. Dave acquired one of those cards. The only thing when we get to it, there is one card that we did not get in hand. Mm-hmm. For really good reasons. Because if it isn't a couple bucks to pick up to show an example, we're not wanting to spend hundreds of dollars in these episodes to bring the information. It's
or nearly any episode. We just don't have the kind of. We're not sponsored by EWCC or Slab Stock or Floating Head Industries. I mean, we're nickel and diming and doing what we can. And
so there was one parallel we could not acquire. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't It wasn't advantageous to do so. Not that it was super expensive, but the pickings, it was slim pickings, and there was nothing out there that Dave was even willing to go after.
If it would have been one of even like that third or fourth tier PC guys, if Carl Pickens had one, I'd be like, okay, I'll drop
justify that.
$20 to $30 for something like that. Okay, Frank Sanders,
not
36 years ago. Yes, I would have liked to do that, but not a chance. And like Mark Bruner and I don't know, Dilger was. I'm like, no, we don't need to be looking at this like nickel and dime type stuff. And
unfortunately, I don't have one for TD. So like, if I had mine, which is a card that I still need, then we wouldn't have an issue. But it's one of those in which we wanted to do the best that we could. And I feel like we did fairly well.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said,
without
at least I'm not going with the without further ado shit, really. Just to give you an idea, because and you technically don't have to make me big, but we are talking about the 97 Skybox Premium. So this is the base card. It's got some foliage on the Skybox Premium and on the name. I'm not flipping it over on the back because I actually don't have a base card here. This is a variation, and it's something that we will talk about, but I at least wanted you to see what at least the front of the card looks like if you haven't seen one before.
Yeah, the rectangle is hollow foil at the top, but it says premium, and then it's raised lettering for the name, also in a gold hollow foil, rainbow hollow foil, if you will.
Yep. And of course, because of my lighting, you're not going to get some of you get a little bit of it, but not much.
And
but that's the base card.
It is a condition-sensitive base set.
Oh, very much so.
With dark borders and...
Very much so. So that's the base set. So with the base set comes two variations. I'm not going to call them parallels. We're going to call them variations for reasons. And Dave, I'll let you go first because this is the one that I stumbled across that I was like, what the fuck is this? So looks kind of the same. Front looks the same as the base card. And it does. There is no difference in the front of the card. It's the same setup as the base card. But what's different is on the back. This is called Inside the Numbers. Why is it called Inside the Numbers? Because it says Inside the Numbers. Nice blurb.
And that used to be I think a segment on what? Was it a Baseball Tonight? And then I don't know if they had it on NFL Countdown too. Sort of a deeper dive, but not like a huge, stupid deep dive. What's their adjusted WAR for games that start between 1 and 2 or whatever? It's just okay, here's the games that are in domes. Here's the games that are on the road. So again, something when you're just looking at a little deeper dive, and that's.
We did use parallel back in the day, Baz. The reason why I call these variations is because when you think of parallels, it kind of garners a different feeling, a different sort of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the right words.
Parallels, you think of, okay, the Ruby. Everybody's got a Ruby. 1 through 200 or whatever. everybody's included. A different, like I don't want to say like an olive branch, but like an extended branch of the base set are these.
Call them SPs. If you want to call them SPs, if you want to use that kind of common denominator, you could technically call it an SP.
I mean, it's technically an insert, but I mean, it's not like you're thinking, oh my God, it's a ruby. A parallel, again, that's randomly inserted. Some of the other cards that we're going to show off, but like a variation to the base set with its own little pricing in the Beckett or on the online price guide.
Yep.
So
that's inside the numbers. And if you noticed, like there's a nice little write-up. You're not seeing any stats. It's just a nice little write-up. And it's specifying something specific. It's specifying something specific. You like that? From a stat perspective.
So and this one it says in his 6-year career, Favre's 88.6 QB rating ranks second among active passers. Only bad part, that's where the sentence ends in the new sentence, which is I don't know if that's not a prepositional phrase, but it starts with and I'm like, I remember that from English. That's not allowed. I remember that. So the new sentence starts and with 6 more touchdown throws, which he should be reached by game 3 or 4. Brett supplants Packer legend Bart Starr as the team's career leader. So there you go. You got a couple different little stats there. Again, nothing like today where people are with their abacus till fucking 3 a.m. trying to figure out stats that nobody in any part of the world would ever care for, except like 7 just like goofball nerds. And I love numbers. I love 1997 and I love 2024 and I love 31. Those are my new 3 favorite numbers.
Fuck you, Dave.
Unfortunately, I can't put those on a fucking lottery ticket. So I'm sort of screwed there. But for any other thing I need to look at, that's the game changer. But stuff like that, where usually it's just, hey, touchdown, interception, passing yards, attempts, completions. I mean, you're not going on a deep gamut of stats there. Those are the periphery stats that we all can see. All of us can figure it out. But then you're like, okay, QB rating. Back then, it wasn't like huge like it is now. Like that's one of the first things you look at if you're looking at like stats. It's like, well, what's this QB rating? How was it done? I don't know. Pulling those numbers out of a hat and like spinning them on a Ferris wheel or a merry-go-round and seeing what you get out of them. But yeah, just a nice little set. And again, something that we didn't have a clue about until we started taking a peek.
Double checking. Double checking.
We didn't have.
So that brings us to the next variation. So Dave showed the inside the numbers. You saw the little blurb. I've shared one of these cards in a past episode. We touched on it.
I'll be right back.
If I'm not mistaken, no worries. I think within the Easter egg episode. These also were in basketball. But you have the Reebok variation. And you're thinking, okay, why in the world is he holding 4 cards? Well, I'll show you here in just a second. So you have the Reebok variation. And if you recall seeing the inside the numbers, you didn't see any of the stats and stuff here. It was you had inside the numbers and then you had like the blurbs. You had height, weight, college, that type of stuff like what you see here, but you have no stats. So the Reebok parallels have 5 variations. I have 4 of the 5 here. One of the main reasons because the base variation for Reebok was white. So this up here never changes color. It's only down here that changes color. So the white was the base variation for Reebok. I know it's going to be hard to tell, but then you had silver. So this is a silver variation. So the checkout Reebok down there at the bottom is in silver font. I know you're going to sit there and go, so this is bronze. And I take that back. I think there's actually 6 variations because there's a gold. So there's another variation. Then you have a red. This is the only difference in these cards is the color at the bottom here. And you're going, really? They actually did this and created additional variations by color. And then you have emerald. This is the one that I ended up sharing on a past show. Emeralds are the hardest. Whites are the base. Emerald is the hardest. Red is the second hardest. These are all Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith is the top guy in this set. John Elway is the second top guy in the set. At a time, now I haven't bothered to check recently, but these emeralds parallel, like I said, it looks just like the standard base card, just like inside the numbers. So if you're not paying attention, you're thumbing through cards. Unless you flip them over, you have no idea. The emerald Reebok variations carry a 50 times multiplier. So at one point in time, and it's been a while since I've done a price point here, this card booked at $80, which when you think about it is just pure craziness because there's nothing to it. It looks like the base card. The only difference is the Reebok and the color at the bottom. That is the only difference. Hence the reason why we are calling them variations and not parallels. I don't want to show the next card until, well, I won't show this one anyways until Dave gets back. But no, not without further ado. I'm going to exit solo real quick because Dave actually has the next card that I think we need to share before we go into the next sections. Because Dave's got 2 more to show. I've got 6. So Dave's got the rarest from a pack pull ratio perspective, from an insert set perspective. And then I, of course, have the rarest parallel, which I'm so thankful that I have, which you all heard Dave mention it earlier. Something else that's interesting about Skybox Premium, and if you looked at the placeholder, you saw the sticker on the front of the box. Skybox Autographics. Big thing that Skybox did with the Autographic set. It ran a couple years, all on-card autos. But they had hot packs. I don't remember how frequent they were seeded, but they had Skybox Autographic hot packs. And you're going, okay. People have heard the term hot packs. When you think of hot packs, typically it's like if you're talking Pokemon, or Magic, you're thinking God packs or, certain characteristics that all the cards in the pack are a certain thing. Well, Skybox Autographics hot packs were the entire pack was all Skybox Autographics. Every card in the pack. So you're sitting there as you're opening, as you're opening a pack, and all of a sudden you see like your top card as an autograph, and you're going, "Holy shit!" Because it's not usually your first card. Inserts are kind of in between, somewhere in the middle. But in a hot pack, you open it and boom, a freaking autographics card is staring you in the face, and every card is in fact an autographics. I pulled one. Only one. But it was the coolest experience because it was the first time they had done it. And you're like, this is kind of a cool experience. But the reason I brought that up is from an autographics perspective, they also had Skybox Autographics redemption cards. And Dave has a version of that. It's basketball, but they look the same. We didn't realize it was basketball, unfortunately, but it is the same. And you're on mute too, by the way, since you stepped away.
We saw the price and we were excited.
So-
The football ones are green.
They have different colors, by the way, Dave.
At least the one that I've got coming in is going to be a green one, but here's your basic.
It's probably not the X either.
No. It's I think a D or a G, but of course up there you've got. Let's see right there, the basketball, but you've got all your stuff to fill it out. The address is in there too. Mount Laurel, New Jersey.
You're following me.
What?
You're following me.
So yeah, you had to spell Skybox
Mm-hmm.
since you saw the X. You had to spell Skybox, and you had to send all of them in.
Mm-hmm.
In order to, and what it did was it was a redemption card for the entire Skybox autographic set.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for that redemption, and don't hold me to that, but I want to say it was like a 67 card set.
Yeah, it was it wasn't like your normal, like a 20 card, 30 card. This is when people were pumping out whatever you could. Pro line, big set. The UD Legends 97, huge set. The autographic sets, monsters the first few years.
Yep.
As the luster sort of wore off, pulling a Sean Estes auto or a Bam Morris auto, it's like, well, do we need 80 guys in there? 20 of which are like legit stars, 15 are guys that people really want to see, and then the rest are like the family doesn't even care if they get a card. So
Right.
then you start trimming that down a little bit, and then focusing again over to like the rookie stuff and like the playoff contenders tickets and all that type of stuff, and the SP Authentic or SPX or whatever it may be, going in that direction with the autographed cards.
Yep. Which brings us to the actual autographic set.
Yeah, what the card actually looks like.
So this is your standard base autographics. You're not going to see it. It's not going to pick up. There is a stamp, which is your certificate of authenticity. These are stamped. These are all on card.
No stickers at all.
And this is, so there is a variation of the autographics, which are called century marks. That's the card that we were unable to get in hand. So the biggest difference with the century marks is the autographics foil is different. It's different
like
color.
Like a speckle.
Yep, like a speckle blue, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And they are hand numbered to 100. So that's the difference between the two. And like I said, there were slim pickings and nothing that was worth spending $22 on for this episode. Like Dave said, any like his lower tier PC guys. Like there was nothing out there. And the Century Marks has eluded me for years. Part of it's my own fault. But people are now wanting close to $300 for them, and I'm sorry, it's not a $300 card. So, but these are beautiful cards. If you have a guy in 97 SP Authentic, like, go get one. They're beautiful. And on card, which was one of the main reasons why I picked Terrell Davis to a degree of for a guy to collect. So now we're going to go inserts, and we're going to save the best for last. At least I call it the best. I think Dave, you would agree. We'll let Michael come back so he's not missing any cards. I've got them, I think, in the order of rarity. First one would be the easiest, and then slowly progress to the hardest that I have. Dave has the case hit, which he will share last. And then, like I said, I'll save the best for last. So, from what everybody's seen, what's everybody thinking? Is it living up to your expectations so far? Do we need to revamp it a little bit for future episodes? You don't have to answer it now, but I'm just throwing it out there. Let us know what you're thinking. But this is kind of what these are going to look like.
More cleavage.
I can't help with that.
You don't want that. Not from... And since it's sort of a halftime of it, I'll show like the halftime entertainment. Not a 97 Skybox Premium card, but just when I went upstairs and dug through the box where I thought most of the stuff that I could use for other examples, because again, people like Terrell Davis, but just to give them another example. And examples.
Really, you're gonna bring out freaking like Hall of Fame game used? Really, it's not anywhere close to what we're.
Halftime entertainment. I told you it's halftime entertainment. I didn't say it was anything related to anything. 13 to 25. So I just, again, maybe some people didn't like it so far. We're still like, this is okay. Now you get to the meat and potatoes, or you had the meat and potatoes, and now you got.
If you're showing old NT, so am
I. See, that's no fair because I don't have readily access. You know, my shit's all back there. So be thinking about, like, is this kind of what you were expecting? Were you hoping for more? More explanations on certain things. So be thinking about some of that stuff as we continue through some of this. We're now into the inserts, the insert portion. We will end on the parallel, which everybody talks about. And Michael walks away again, of course, which, as I'm getting ready to show the first.
Pissed off at seeing Bart start fucking patch. He's like, what the hell is this shit?
So the first insert is the rookie preview. This is the easiest insert in this product. I'm not prepared to show off old school NT stuff. It's in the boxes. They're right there, but like that wasn't part of the program, Bobby. But nothing major about these cards at all. It's all the rookies. This happens to be Tiki Barber. Nothing really special about it. it's not a horrible card design by any stretch of the imagination, but as far as the easiest insert to pull, it's not horrible either because it is rookie based, so it is rookie year stuff. So all your big rookies have a card. Excuse me, as I belch, I pulled a Dave. All your rookies have a card. So I do actually have a complete insert set of this. Go figure, when you open a shit ton of product, that's what happens, right? So this is the easiest insert. Nothing too. Oh, wait, that's awesome. Next up on the list, you have the close-ups. So same type of foliage and lettering and such like you do on the base cards. A lot of your big stars, Barry, Troy, Emmett, all have cards in this insert set. Nothing nothing super special from a front perspective, but back in these days, they actually had nice write-ups. Dave hyper focuses a lot on the write-up stuff, and it's a different picture than what you have on the front. There's 4 like pictures there, and even that picture is even different. But nice little write-up. Same thing with the rookie previews. It's a different picture on the back, so something different. I have a complete set of that too. What I think one of the nicer inserts is the premium players.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not have a complete. Yeah, I do not have a complete set of these because these were a lot harder. Like I said, we're not going to be throwing out pack pull ratios because we don't want to be misquoted, because that's not what we wanted to focus on when we showed these. But nice, sweet, clean card design. Unfortunately, my lighting in here doesn't really do this card justice. This card does bounce in the light, but same thing on the back. Different picture and a nice little write-up. And the write-up is associated to the fact of why he's deemed, quote unquote, a premium player. So the write-ups have a lot to do with what the name of the insert sets are. So that's the back. This is the front. Beautiful card. And then this is the second hardest. And then Dave gets to show the heat on the case hit perspective. I think this is a nicer card, in my opinion. But everybody talks about the cracked ice and everything else. Yeah, well, it originated with atomic refractors in 97. Granted, I know this is a Skybox card, but same technology. This is called the Primetime Rookies.
Mm-hmm.
And this has the atomic refractor technology in it. I know you can't see it, but I promise you it's there. And if memory serves me right, these were like one in every 6 boxes, I think. These were tough pulls. Out of all the boxes I opened, I own 2. This being one of them. And outside of Tony Gonzalez, Warwick Dunn is probably one of the better rookies. So, but these are gorgeous cards in person. Same thing. Back, it's a facial shot, but kind of cool how they have the name outlined.
That's a set I've never seen before.
And they, like I said, I wish I could because it does this. You've seen atomic refractors from 97 and 98, so you know what I'm talking about. That's what the front of this card is.
Yeah, I can see the outlines of all the shards. It just doesn't shine.
Yep, it doesn't shine. Yep.
Yeah, through the screen.
So this is the second toughest insert set from 97 Skybox Premium. So now you won't see my face for a brief amount of time. Dave will now take over to show the case hit. Now, I will preface this. This is a cool ass card. It's just not as purdy as the primetime rookies, in my opinion.
And I'm going to show you a couple different premium players as well.
Oh, you
So
have
you
some
have-
other ones? Even better.
So again, you got Bledsoe home, away. And then again, completely different picture on the back. But again, I love the write-up because it's not a generic nothingness. Oh, he threw 3 touchdowns in a game. And that's it. It's like, well, no. Tell me about the game then. And then Eddie George. The only thing with this one I would have liked is like the baby blues. Not all white for the pictures. But again, still it's all different pictures. Taking a handoff, making a cut, and then trotting off the field. Or running down the field. And then I swear I've got either Favre or Marino as well. But today, and of course Eric's not here, we get some Patriots, some more Patriots. One from, I believe, National this year. Terry Glenn with it's like a faux or whatever you want to call it, the leather feel. So
Die cut.
at least the front, the back has your regular. I'll show that, like a regular gloss right up. Again, nice, easy to read. Set numbering here, 7 of 10. And then LL, larger than life. Not really any wasted area. And it doesn't feel too cramped with all the stuff on there. But on the front, it's like a distressed, like a leathery look of a football. And the feel of the only thing that, I don't know, maybe nicer would be like the statistical standouts. Like they had the raised embossed laces. That might have added a little. But again, it's very clean design. And again, for being a die cut card, unlike the base set, these, unless you jack them around a lot, they are not like ultra condition sensitive. And then Curtis Martin.
Yeah, and I know you have one of the bigger names too, because that's one of the, and I think it's Favre.
Yeah, I've got, and I looked, I'm like, I don't know if that might be one of the graded ones that I had somewhere, and it wasn't where it's supposed to be. So again, not a shock. Looking for it because I've got a bunch of like Marino, and the ones I don't have, I know are Emmett and Barry. Quarterbacks, I do. But yeah, another
But
write up.
But these were the case hits.
Yeah.
Well, the pack odd notated quote unquote case hit. I'm smoking But
That's all right.
We'll end it with the banger. The card that most people have heard about, know about, which is the legit parallel to the base set,
Mm-hmm.
which, in my mind, are better than PMGs. Because as far as I'm concerned, there's only one quote-unquote parallel. They're all the same serial numbering. And they are hard as hell to pull. Not saying PMGs weren't. But this is also why when we first started, we notated the inside the numbers and the Reeboks as variations. Because it is in fact really a variation of the base set, or a short print if you wanted to call it as such. But the big daddy of them all from this set is the Ruby. And because I've got shitty lighting in here, you're still not going to get the full effect of this card. But this is the parallel from the set. Everybody's got a card of that set. And I don't remember what the base set is. I should know. I have it sitting right here. I should have probably looked. But these cards are like, they're absolute stunners. And the whole point of this was to show these cards in hand. So it's like a picture doesn't do a card justice. And unfortunately, because the way the light is in here, it doesn't really show this card dance as much as what it actually does. But this is, this is and they're all serial numbered to 50. So to give you an idea, and I've talked about this on multiple occasions, I opened probably at least a case of this product. At least. Not a sealed case. It was all loose boxes. I only pulled one Ruby. One. I never pulled a larger than life. Pulled everything else that you could possibly pull. But I pulled one Ruby. Of course, it was not Terrell Davis. This was acquired years ago. Thank God. Because all the influencers kind of jumped in and started talking about how beautiful these cards are. And it's like, I already knew how beautiful these cards were. Because I owned one. But this is like the Mac Daddy of them all from this set. This is what everybody goes after. So there you have it. All the cards from 97 Skybox Premium, sans century marks. Not too shabby. And of course, Michael had already seen that card, so he had no additional response to said card.
Michael might have also been searching eBay for Brett Favre 1997 Skybox Premium.
Because he's got premier players, I know, because I think I might have that somewhere.
He has a premium player, and there's one on my watch list now.
I'm pretty sure he has a larger than life, too.
Oh, he does. There's one on eBay, but it's PSA 10, a pop 2 for $375.
Nah.
And he has a close-up, but like I said, there's nothing really special about that card.
I've never seen those either, and I like the look of that.
I may have a dupe, so I'll if I circle back and I find some of my dupes, if I have a dupe Favre, I'll put it in your stack and it'll be yours.
Sweet.
Yeah, looking through to find that stuff, I'm like, man, I got a lot of Favre stuff. Like just going through, I'm like,
I have not gone down the rabbit hole and broken the seal and bought a Favre insert yet because I'm scared of what would come after that.
Well,
For
and
you,
it's a great year. It's a great set of years that he's in too.
Oh, I know.
For you though, I think you are very specific in what you find attractive card wise.
Yes.
You're not me, and you're like, if it has any image, even a name, I need. Me need. No, you're looking several different things, and
But the thing is, during this time period, there's probably 100 different great looking inserts out there. And Favre's in most of them because that was his heyday. 3 straight MVPs, 95, 96, 97. So he's in everything.
that's when I, from like 95 to probably early 98, that's when I was die hard Favre. I mean, that was him and Natron were the two guys that I collected.
Yeah.
Kerry Collins was too much, and I didn't want to give up Favre for Kerry Collins. And he wasn't as much as he was in 95. 97 now, then it started to become like, oh, there's a lot of nice Favre stuff, but God, can I even begin to afford it now that he's starting to win and Green Bay's back on the map? And
Yep.
I'm like, and then 98, I'm like, I can't. After the Super Bowl, I think that like off season, I unloaded a ton. I didn't want to, but I mean, it was sort of like the 2020. Like I'm sure they'll go up more, but right now, I might as well do it.
See, I didn't collect football then, but I would imagine that Favre was probably like whenever you'd open up a Beckett and you'd go to the products, Favre was probably the highest book value base card in a set.
Emmett.
Is Marino, Emmett, Barry, and then it was Favre, Rice.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, Emmett probably was for the longest time because all those Super Bowls.
Yeah, it was him, those three, that Marino, Emmett, Barry were constantly like, if there was a base set of the collector's choice, they were $3.
Yep.
Favre, Rice, $2.50, Elway, $2, and then you sort of kept trickling down. But yeah, that'd just be like a showcase video to show off what I've got if I can pull everything together, because I know there's stuff out of like 96. I think I've got them all. The 96 Skybox Premium, where when he won the MVP in 95, they've got the tiers of the redemptions. There's a lenticular one, there's a leather one, there's a die cut one, and there's one more. I don't remember what it is, but that's all stuff that I remember back then being like, I could find the one, but it was tiered in odds too. So I mean, there's one that might have been like 1 in 60, then there's 1 in 120, then 1 in 240, and then like 1 in 480, something like that. And it's just like, and those have come down so far in price because I was able to get them all and then not spend more than I think $10 on one of them, because I think the lenticular one, like the lenticular, for those who don't know, that's like the Sportflix sort of technology where you move it and it moves with you. It has like an image moving, or a UC3.
The Alex Rodriguez rookie artist proof was my Grail card. Never did afford one because when I was collecting A-Rod, that's when he was so expensive. And I think those ran, I feel like those were like $1,500 and up during that time period.
Because it was the update too.
Right. Same with the
score redemption.
The score was a redemption.
Yep.
And that one was very expensive. Even the redemptions, the expired redemptions sold for a good chunk of money.
I know I've looked for that too because I bought, I don't know, I think I bought 3-4 boxes from Kmart way back in the day in like 98, 99. Like they had the whatever when you had the sticker on there, it was like the 1999, 29.99.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hobby box. I'm like, man, they had some stuff, and if I would have had the money I have today, which isn't like a ton of money, but you can go in there and be like, okay, I can comfortably drop a couple $100 on some hobby boxes that are marked down drastically. Fuck, I'm all about that. But
Yep, Kmart and KB Toy Store.
ooh. And the children, the youth, the young teens of today will never understand like the pull of going into a KB, a Children's Palace. I'm trying to think the other one, Toys R Us, going in there,
Yeah.
and you're like, man, I want to get. I'm laser focused on whatever it may be, cards, Legos, action figures, whatever the fuck you're gonna. I want this. I need, and then something else just like screams.
And whenever you would go into Toys R Us and go to the video games, and you pull out a slip of paper, and you take it up to the front, and you give them that piece of paper, then they go get the physical copy of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was never sadder than when you went to grab it and there were no slips of paper because they were sold out.
The worst.
Yeah. I remember at KB Toy Store, I got several jumbo boxes of Classic 4 Sport. They had those boxes marked down to like $9.99, and anytime we went in there, my mom would give me a box.
What year is that? 93?
Yes, or 94, 93, 94.
Garrison Hurst.
It was the A-Rod year.
Also been 94. Wow.
Yeah, it was 94 Classic 4 Sport. Never
Yeah.
pulled an autograph.
I think he had some in 93. Yeah, he had the 93 because I remember like the tri-card. It would have been him and like, I don't know if Darren Dreifert for somebody from Wichita State.
That sounds right. I can't even remember.
I can remember.
But I remember the cards you had. You had Drew Bledsoe, Jerome Bettis. So it would have had to have been 93.
Yeah, because that was the reason I bring up Hurst.
Mm-hmm.
Our Kmart and Superior had it, same price, $9.99. Go in there and like, there's only the one box that we can find.
This big long box.
And I'm like, okay, I'll get this. Pulled the Garrison Hurst auto out of there. So, Cloud 9. Because again, back then that wasn't a thing.
No.
And it only booked, I think it was like $40, but I'm like, that's huge as 13-year-old, 14-year-old. So
Same thing with like the Pro Line stuff back in
Yeah.
the early 90s.
but that stuff was a little easier to come by because I think they were
It was.
saying one a box for that.
It was.
Sport was
What's-
not.
Well, we did at least accomplish one thing with the episode. We got Michael going down a rabbit hole looking for some stuff, but that's because not like, and that's the issue. A lot of the stuff that gets shared on Instagram and stuff along those lines, it's the bigger ticket items. And yes, there have been rubies that have been posted on Instagram. They're gorgeous cards, but they're typically out of a lot of people's price range because they're not cheap.
No.
Now nowadays they're not.
Yeah, you're
They've
not.
always been fairly pricey, but not to today's standards. Like, go take a peek and just look at some of the cheaper guys and you're going, yeah, I'm not paying that.
Yeah. Favre Ruby from 98 just sold a couple days ago for over $2,000. The
And
Reggie White was listed as well. It went over $1,000.
Yeah, so I like 97 better.
So do I.
Just because it was the first year that they did it. I think they're prettier. But like still, it's again, I'm very thankful that I got mine when I did. I mean, I wasn't even living here. And we've been here over 10 years now. So that ought to tell you how long I had mine. And it was still, I want to say $60, which in today's standards, I mean, that's like fucking dirt cheap.
Right.
But even at that time, it was still higher than what you would think because everything was a lot more normalized to a degree. Yes, your bigger name players, of course, could garner big bucks. But even then, that long ago, you could probably have gotten a Favre for a couple $100.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And felt good about it. Because, and that's one of the things that I've been trying to express with, everybody talks about the PMGs. PMGs technically are higher numbered in the scheme of things, unless you're talking grains.
Yeah.
But that's two parallels. This is one. There is only one parallel.
Yeah.
And this is it. And it's numbered to 50. So you got to put that into compare. You have to put that into perspective. And when you think about things, and no matter how many times I express it, opening at least 12 boxes that I can remember and only pulling one, granted, it's not a sealed case. The boxes all came from sealed cases, but even then, one and at least 12 boxes, that's that's not easy.
No.
Mm-mm.
And the one I pulled ended up going to a good friend of ours, Scoff 2244, because it happened to be Isaac Bruce, which was his guy that that was his main PC guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I sent it to him, I even expressed, I'm like, I don't think you understand. Like, I need you to understand something. Yes, it may be a parallel and it may only be numbered to 50, but this card is super rare.
Yeah.
Just understand it is super rare.
Yep. Yeah, if you have a PC player that's in either one of those years, 97 or 98, if they have a Ruby, I mean, that's one of the top cards you can get of that player.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, not just lip service because we're doing the episode about it. It's fucking.
No, it's the truth.
And the 98 ones, veterans to 50. If you're like a draft class rookie, you're to 30.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes it, if you want a Peyton, you want a Moss, you want a Taylor, Jerome Pathon, Ryan Leaf, whoever, Andre Wadsworth, Charles Woodson, you're paying dollars.
And wasn't there even another parallel for the rookies that was like blue foil? I feel like Edgerrin James, his year. I feel like he's got I feel like I just recently saw one. It was a card that I didn't know existed. I'm gonna do a little research because I know whose page it would have been.
Yeah, because 99, I guess it's possible because that's when they started doing a little bit more quote unquote variation based parallel variation type stuff. Like,
yeah, they had a vertical, they had a horizontal. They might have had a rubies and then a star rubies, which would have been the the breakdown. It would have been the rubies would have been like the foil in red, no numbering. Star rubies would have been your quasar type that year with like the sparkle foil numbered to like
99,
30 or 50. Again, they had the same sort of
99, I think they're all to 30.
okay.
I think. Don't hold me to that, but I want to say because 98, I know that they had the variation,
Mhm.
like you had alluded to. The vets were to 50. Because I know that for a fact because I have 98s too. But 99, I'm pretty sure they're numbered to 30 because I don't have 99. And it's because it's to 30. So, of course, it's a lot harder to come by. But on the flip side, I hope people enjoyed it. Hopefully, people learned something.
Very much so.
But this is kind of what to expect with these future episodes with this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're letting y'all ultimately dictate what we do next. And we've thrown out a few things for the fourth one to add to the next survey, but we haven't solidified that yet. Once we do that, the next survey will go up. We'll let it run for another few weeks like we did the other one. Give us some time to find stuff and to acquire stuff if need be.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we're going to keep doing this once a month-ish because depending on what you guys select, it may take us longer because we may not have examples. Like this first grouping, like if it would have been anything else, we may have had to acquire a few other cards.
Mm-hmm.
But like because 97 is a prime year of Terrell Davis, he's in a lot of the insert sets. It was very easy to sit there and be like, okay, I have a lot of these. And like we've said, we're trying to keep the costs lower on these comparative to what we want to do later on when we get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that we're dancing around that, but we don't want to. You kind of already have an idea of what it is, but that's all it is. You have no specifics.
We don't want people to steal our ideas any more than they already do.
Exactly.
Because again, if you gave us credit, that's one thing. It's like a homeless person applying for a credit card. No credit is given. So
This is true. Of course, and Michael, truth be told, we didn't do this in order for you to go down a rabbit hole, but I am glad it kind of inspired you to kind of go do some. It puts a smile on my face, to be honest.
There will be a far premium player in my collection. Probably pretty soon because it's already team color. It's golden. It's shiny. But I found what I was talking about. It was the 99 Skybox Premium Shining Stars Rubies. They're numbered out of 15 for the rookies.
Okay. That makes sense.
It is blue.
Okay.
But yeah, numbered out of, I don't think I'm going to get, there's too much glare. But
you get some of it.
Yeah, you can still see some of that shine there.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, it has really great looking card, but man, out of 15, that's crazy low.
Yeah, that's when they started getting to the point where it's like, good luck. Good luck if you get whoever you get, because you ain't gonna find one.
Well, and that's when they started expanding the number of autographed rookie cards, though, too, because 98 contenders had what, 5, 6, 8, somewhere in that realm.
It wasn't many.
No, between like let's say 10 and 20 at the most.
Because I don't remember like how many different rookies actually had autograph variations. They were
Manning, Moss, Leaf.
all
Hines Ward.
Woodson.
Was it?
I think
No,
Woodson
Woodson
had-
did not. He was not in that set.
Chris
Amon Green.
Fuamala.
Green, I'm pretty sure.
Amon Green sounds right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
But 99, like a lot of your rookie,
Hines
your,
Ward, maybe?
Yes, he had one.
Yeah, that sounds right. But 99, they increased the number of autograph rookies in their products. Like, I wanted all of the autograph rookies from 99 SPX. Like, why? I don't know. But at the time, I wanted them all. To this day, I own one, and it's Champ Bailey, and that's only because it's in the Broncos collection, even though he's in a Redskins uniform.
That's probably the best. That's probably the best one to have.
McNabb,
Yeah.
Torrey Holt.
Yeah, Torrey.
Warner would be a nice one to have too.
I think I'd still rather have Champ over all of them.
Well,
Yeah,
what's
he doesn't have a plethora of stuff out there. I mean, it's not ultra limited like Julius Peppers up until 3 years ago, but I mean you don't see Champ Bailey, or you didn't see Champ Bailey in like every autograph set out there.
No. No, and Julius Peppers, man. I mean, he had more than Charles Barkley had autographs, but it wasn't many more.
No, you're right. That's for sure.
Yeah, as much as Panini gets ripped on for stuff, at least they brought some of those guys out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was able to get a Reggie Miller, I was able to get a Barkley, where it wasn't fucking $600-800, $1,200 to try to fucking find something. And
Patrick Ewing as well. They got Ewing to sign.
Yep, and I got Patrick Ewing too. It's like that, just the guys that.
Because I feel like
90s.
I feel like for one point, Ewing only had like exquisite art or exquisite patch autos. It felt like
Probably because Barkley had the one autograph, and that was it.
And it was a Rockets uniform.
Yeah, which I will not dive into. Again, I think I got a Suns. I know I got the 76ers, which is the one I wanted. Most people probably would want the Suns because that's what they remember probably most with. But no, that's the 76ers that him and Manute Bol shooting threes, and Barkley like just looking at him like, what the fuck is going on here? What universe am I in? This like Stretch Armstrong gummy motherfucker shooting like a god. I don't even know what he's doing. It's a beach ball in his hands, and
if he followed through, he might actually touch the rim from 3-point line.
Touch the rim, touch the scoreboard above the fucking court. I mean, good lord. So yeah, if you ever get bored, go look up Manute Bol, MANUTEBOL, and just watch. Again, he's got like 3-pointers, drains like I think 7 or 8 in a game. I remember that still from Sports Center, and you're like, this got to be a video game or something. This can't be.
Yeah, that clip will come up in my reels every now and then, and I'll watch it.
Yep. Anytime I see it, I'm like, yep, I'm going to watch it.
So in the after hours, if Michael last after hours, but at least at a minimum, Dave and I will hash out what the last set will be. And at some point later on this week, I'll get the community post up again. We'll talk about it on next week's episode just to give some visibility, even though most people probably would have already seen it. If you want to vote, great. If you don't,
Great.
No, not an issue. But we're putting the power to y'all
Which is
to
rare.
let us know, for you guys to let us know what y'all want to see. So the other thing, y'all aren't going to have choices. That's going to be what we want to do when we want to do it.
Yeah.
This is different. And
You
like
shush.
most of it, like we said, will be football. There will be a few times in which we'll throw some hockey stuff up there.
And again, maybe
Because-
basketball from like that Kobe year, a big one we all enjoy because of Iverson, Camby, Kobe, Raheem. God, who else? John Wallace was in there. I can Ray Allen, Marbury.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you had so many players integral to not only us as like collecting folk at the time, but just as like the overall the next 15 to 20 years of the basketball landscape. That these guys were all maybe they didn't last as long as you thought they would, but when they were out there, like holy shit, this class is really deep.
Yeah.
So
And that's always a possibility.
Steve's got a lot of that set type stuff. With me picking up Raheem or Stoudemire, I've got some of the inserts, some of the key stuff. So if we have to do like an EX, we got a jambalaya. Or
But we
Z.
don't have an essential credentials. I used to have one. I had a Jamal Mashburn, but sold that a fucking however long ago.
And that might be something that along the line if something comes up for, because I can't even tell you last time I looked up Abdur Rahim. But that's the thing. I go in these ebbs and flows, and then I'll look him up for probably like 6-8 weeks, and then just forget. Because again, there's 8 million PCs. You can't have 8 million PCs and look up 8 million guys or PCs or whatever it is every fucking.
I
couple
feel
days.
like Abdur Rahim would have been like in 21, 22 when you were picking up some of his stuff, because I remember bidding on some of them, and I feel like it was in 21, 22.
For sure, because that was like, I know after I made the sale to Ryan, some of those big cards came in because I'm like, I want to do this now just because I don't think there'll be another time where I'm as heavily motivated to try to secure them. And if I got to pay more, it's like, I don't want to, but now I sort of can, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm floating away into the stratosphere and this is going to be like the new high. This is going to be the new record sale. I'm like, I don't want that.
Right.
I want to save money where I can, because even if I completed Josh Johnson, even if I completed Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Tony Pike, Tony Zitch, AJ Vengas, there's 8 million other fucking PCs out there that I'm not done with. So,
God, Pike. That's a blast from the past. I hadn't heard you say that name in forever.
Gino Gaduli, fucking Walter Reyes, Northcutt, all the
Caldwell.
Andre Caldwell, and then what's his name? I can see the guy, same class. Jerome Simpson.
Jerome Simpson, yep.
I mean, all these people I haven't even looked up, and I mean, I've got Kevin O'Connell stuff. I'm sure that had a little increase when he got hired by the Vikings. So I don't know how much of an increase, but it's got to be better than what they were at 8 years ago. A lot of cool patches, obviously.
Yeah, because they were Patriots patches.
But yeah, it's like there's never going to be a time where it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to collect. I don't know what I have to buy. That time doesn't exist. when they burn me up or they lower me in the ground, that's gonna be the time where I don't know what I'm gonna collect because except sleep, a nice dirt nap. So yeah, there a lot of stuff to pick up, and I don't know, just when when folks say that, I don't understand. I don't know. There's nothing that appeals to me. I mean, you can get in the ruts. Yeah, SP 95. That's again decent little set.
Anybody have any interest for a 95 SPTD rookie? I don't have any shortages or anything.
I think when I looked through those Bledsoes upstairs, it was about 6 or 7 of the 93s at least.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
again,
that one's different though.
I know, but that's like when I see that anywhere under $5 shipped, I'm like, I can't. That's something I can't say no to, and that's why I don't look him up because I don't want to
Yeah.
spend fucking $50 on 10 SP Bledsoe rookies when I've got probably a good chunk of those. That quantity.
Yep. But God, man, that was the card in 93, man. I've talked about my trade that I did. And at the time, like it was hard to know whether or not that was who got the better deal. But like to me, 93 SP, like that was I never got to I can't say I got to open a few packs of 93 SP.
Hmm.
So like I knew what it felt to open it. But that Bledsoe, like that was the card in 93. Like there was nothing pinnacle rookies, but that was an insert. But from a just a regular rookie perspective, that SP foil was the card.
Yeah, and you didn't
I
see
God, I wanted that card so bad.
like those
And
pinnacle
I
rookies. You didn't see them. You saw maybe one at a
right.
shop or a show or wherever, and that was it. It wasn't like abundance. You saw maybe a few Bledsoes, and you're like, oh my god, you got the Bledsoe. Holy shit.
Yep.
Holy shit. And that stayed high for a long time.
Shit, I can still remember when Beckett started putting graded prices.
Hmm.
And PSA 10, like they would include PSA 10 pricing as well as BGS 9.5 and pristines. But like I want to say for the longest time in the late 90s, early 2000s, the Bledsoe in a 9.5 or PSA 10 was like $1,200 book value. I mean,
Yep.
it was crazy because so condition sensitive. So condition sensitive. But that was the card. And like looking back on it and making that trade, I got the better deal because I got the card I gave up in that trade in 95 for a few bucks.
Hmm.
So like I definitely got the better deal. But at the time, it's one of those in which when a product comes out and it's a super short print and they were like so tough to get
Yep.
and you buy a few packs and you happen to get one, like everybody wanted it. So I had the leverage
Yeah.
and now I have both cards. So like no harm, no foul. And I
No.
actually I do have two SPs. I do have two. I don't have 10, 12, 20. But that's a card. It's no different like the 95 SP. Like those all came from opening packs or boxes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go out and can just keep buying them. But it's one of those in which you can't have too many of them.
No.
There are just certain cards for certain people. At least like, and I'm speaking from a rookie perspective. Like can you really ever have too many of them? No.
No. They're like, yeah, the like Curtis Martin or the Bledsoe or a Lemieux rookie or pretty much any Lemieux card, as Vinny has taught us. It's like some of that stuff you just, for whatever reason, you're just drawn to it. And it's not necessarily like, oh man, I need 20 86, 87 Fleer Jordan. Well, it's like, yeah, you want that many because you know they're going to be fucking expensive, and there are people. There's always going to be a big market for that.
I think we all wish we had that money.
Yeah. But I mean, with like some of these cards, yeah, the Terrell Davis SP, that's what, like a $10, $20 card, somewhere in that price range. I don't even know, like, quote unquote book value.
Yeah,
But
I couldn't even tell you book value, but I mean, get them between $2 and $5 all day long on eBay.
I mean, and that's a Hall of Fame rookie. Probably his best rookie or his nicest, cleanest rookie. And besides the select certified.
Select. Right.
But I mean, it's like, and you don't feel bad when you buy them. Like, okay, if you get like a PSA 8, you spend $6 on it, you're like, well, at least I'm paying more than the grading fee. I mean, you can, then with Jordan, you can't even probably buy a counterfeit Jordan for $6-8. Or even like the Decade of Dominance and like the 96, 97 Fleer, like the.
Oh no, those are still pricey.
So I mean, it's like people look at it through the one lens of, well, if I want multiples of something like that's super expensive or super like desirable, but always go back to it. What's desirable for someone isn't as desirable to another person. For whatever reason. Maybe it's money, maybe it's the nostalgia, maybe again, like
that's what I was gonna go with.
My grandpa and I bought these cards and went down that memory lane, and that's something my dad bought me. It's like that's why I love the '90s score set. He bought the set for me, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, when we were on our family trip in '91. It's like that's when I wrote to score because I got my Frank Thomas when I opened the set and had like the little green printing dot on there. I'm like, God damn it! Somewhere amongst the shit, I still have that letter from score. Because I'm like, again, that's a huge set for me, and people are, it's a shitty set. Same with 91 score. If I can find those sets like unopened and I can find them open so I can put them in a binder, I'll fucking do that. Because again, that's when Dad was alive to buy me cards.
Well, it always goes back to nostalgia, and that's a lot of what. That was one of the main reasons why, and I'm going to bring Michael back in the conversation. Why he started looking at Garnett for a time.
Yep.
Is because it was, and I can't remember specifically like what caused you to go back and start looking at rookies and inserts and stuff from that era, but it all boils down to nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have been sitting there twiddling your thumbs for whatever reason, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, like something took you to thinking about Kevin Garnett and being your favorite player of that era. Like, holy shit. Like, I have nothing of Kevin Garnett. What's fucking out there?
It was going through a shoebox of old cards that I had, and I came across the Garnett finest rookie card in there that my best friend Jimmy, who was one of my groomsmen, pulled way back in the day. He only bought one pack of Topps Finest basketball.
And he
He
pulls the
opened
best
it
card.
up, and Garnett was in there. And then probably, and that would have been 95, 96. Well, fast forward to probably, I'd say right around 99, 2000, when he and I both stopped collecting. We were going through cards in his room, and he came across the pack, the open pack with the cards still in it. And he opened it up, and he had the Garnett in there, and he gave it to me. So I still have that copy. And at the time, I'd never looked at cards and paid attention to like, oh man, how would this grade, stuff like that? Because that wasn't even a thing to me. But man, was that card off-centered. That copy is so far off-centered. But I still have it. And that was what made me think, you know what? I want to go get a nice centered copy of this card.
Right.
And I did that, and then went down the rabbit hole.
Yep. Oh, I have moments where I enjoy looking through some of my stuff because I've collected for so many years and I've never been fully organized. So, like, when you brought that up in videos and shit, I enjoyed going through and looking for Garnett stuff.
Yep.
And, I can sit here and say, I probably go and watch that video of the Garnett stuff that I sent you, which also included, was that the same video I sent you, the mirror red?
I don't remember if that was the same.
See, that's where I'm drawing a blank. But I know I go back.
I feel like
least,
it. I
feel
feel
like it is. I
Yeah.
feel like it is.
Me too.
I feel like it is. But I watch that video at least 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Because, like, I sent you a lot of pictures, and it was a lot of fun because, like, it was never about value. It had nothing to do with it. It was one of those, it's like, hey, I'm sorting through shit. Hey, do you have this? Is this something that, like, and oh, that's really cool would be your response. And it's like, okay, yeah, well, that's the only, okay, that'll set that aside. I'll set that aside. I'll set that aside. And, the big card from Upper Deck Century Legends.
Yep.
Like, I can only imagine what that card could potentially sell for nowadays.
I would imagine it's probably $100, $200 card.
Because at the time, like, you couldn't find anything remotely close to that card of any player at the time.
Mm-mm.
And, it's like, when you put things into perspective, even in the late 90s, early 2000s, serial number to 100 was still fucking rare.
Yep.
Like, serial number to 100 nowadays is like freaking one every pack nowadays, it seems. But in that era, like, that wasn't the norm.
Mm-mm.
But that was a cool card. I almost didn't want to send it to you because I liked it. I liked it myself.
Yeah, it's so dang cool. And then you've got that shiny. There isn't a ton of foil on that card, but where it does have it, it's beautiful.
Yep.
It's funny because I think I've only, now granted, I don't look up Garnett stuff all that often anymore, hardly ever. Every now and then I'll go back and look at, I'll try to find like a 98 Flair Showcase Row Zero out of 250. That's one I still want in my collection. So I'll go search every now and then for that. But whenever I would look up those Century cards, you never saw Garnett available. I would always see either Allen Iverson or Shaquille O'Neal. I would see those guys listed, but never Garnett.
Yeah, it just that was a cool ass freaking card. And
It is.
You know, we always talk about stories, and you know, last year's Christmas episode, I made specific points as Dave and Bob and everybody were open and stuff. You know, these are pack pulled. Like that's the story. That's everything that I've sent to people. I can't say everything. Almost everything I've sent to people. I've pulled it myself. I didn't go shop for it. I didn't go buy it. I got lucky enough and I pulled them. And like when you add that additional level of a story that goes with the card, it makes it worth that much more to the person that you're sending it to. Because let's face it, and I'm not trying to take away that, you know, buying cards for people takes away from like the sentiment and everything else. I'm not saying that, but it adds another level of appreciation to something that, oh shit, somebody pulled this. They thought of me. It just, I don't know. It's kind of cool.
And to know it's only belonged to one person.
Yeah.
There's also that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Call me sentimental, whatever, but you know, I enjoy adding that level of the story when I send stuff to people. When I can give the opportunity of saying, you know, hey, this was pack pulled. It was no different, you know, the 09 classics, the parallel, the bronze parallel to 100 of Clay Matthews. I had no fucking idea I had that card. And I stumbled across it as I was looking for your Kevin Garnett shit. And it's like, okay, well, that's definitely going to you. But again, pack pulled at some point.
And that's so crazy.
You know, of all the places that certain cards end up, it just it adds to the story.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did Dave go hunting?
I think he went pooping. No, I don't know. All I know is I have the fun task of like reintegrating the stuff that I pulled out for this episode.
Dave went hunting. The leather. Sweet.
Is this the redemption shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this is the redemption stuff.
That's an awesome card. I don't think I know I haven't. If I've seen it before, it's because you showed it.
I haven't seen these. I've seen that one.
God, that's cool.
There's your lenticular motion for those
Yep.
who are still watching. Who are now you actually have a visual.
That's 98, isn't it?
Nope.
It isn't?
Those are the 4 redemptions from 96 Skybox Premium for his MVP.
No kidding.
96 Skybox Premium Brett Favre MVP die cut. So this is the toughest. Again, I don't remember because I don't think they're numbered. But it says this is the easiest. There's a number on there. I have no idea where it's at. 5 of 5. I can't remember. I don't know why leather would be hardest. There's one more. There might be one more. I don't even know what it'd be. If there's 5, and this one's there's 4, number 4, but I thought this would have been more digging, more fun.
Yeah.
And then The real old.
Mirror images. Nice.
That's the refractor. And those discolor,
Yeah.
unfortunately. It says, Dave, the Brett Favre MVP is 7 cards.
7?
There's 7. There's 1 is the foil, 2 is acrylic, 3A is the lenticular exchange A, 3B is lenticular exchange B, 3C is the lenticular prize, 4 is the die cut, 5 is the leather.
Huh. So there's 3 lenticulars.
That's what it's saying.
So
You have 3C, Dave, which is the prize.
you're missing 2 lenticulars and the acrylic. Huh. Hell yes. That's numbered out of 60.
19 of 60.
19 of 60.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they don't have pictures of all of them either, Dave, or I would have shared it.
Love those cards.
I love that set.
One of my favorite insert sets of all time.
Yep, that's still on my list of ones just to buy outright. That's the silver. Is that the silver embossed?
Yep.
Yeah, I've been looking at I've been looking at a lot of Favre Finest stuff lately. I haven't pulled the trigger on anything, but I'm looking.
We've said it before.
I've never seen that one.
Just because it's a insanely difficult pull doesn't mean it's a beautiful card.
Yeah.
Don't like to rip on Pacific, but at the same time, we've talked about it before. Everybody gets, they're just desserts, or they get Brussels sprouts for dessert. And this is a Brussels sprouts for dessert. Not much going on.
There's a lot of circles on that card.
Yeah, it looks like crop circles. And again, it's got the panini chip on top.
No. Star Quest 4.
4-star.
Yep.
Damage Inc.
I like a lot of that was when the baseball years. I loved the Fleer Ultra inserts for baseball.
Platinum, or titanium.
It's metal.
Yep, 98, I think. Yeah. Now this is like the trash lenticular.
Yep, Sky Motion though. I remember it.
The Galaxy.
Blue,
Oh, that's
platinum
just
blue.
That's so pretty.
98 Revolution. 97 Revolution. Yep. Good old platinum blue parallel.
I love those cards. I have the Reggie White of that jersey numbered 92 out of whatever it is. Is it out of 1,000 or 1,200?
2,500.
Oh, 2,500. Yeah, I've got a Reggie White 92 out of 2,500.
I wish I had the prism of this. Otherwise, it's a pretty plain to 1,500 on the edge, I think, Masters.
Yeah, I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, that's night games.
97 night games. Or 97 Edge Masters night games, I think.
I think that's
there is a prism version. I think it's to either 150 or 250. and it's a lot nicer looking than that. Another one of my favorite.
Yes.
Predictor, the TV sales.
Because you could pull these, and these were also the if you had the predictor winner, this was also your prize.
Yeah.
The see-through.
I
This
never had a
one-
winner from baseball, but I pulled some.
Yep, I know that. Insert.
Longest yard.
96 action packed.
Embossed. Both of them smiling. That's a neat one.
I figured that one would tickle your fancy. Now, this is one of my favorite sets, and a set I'm going to put together at some point because it was only in jumbo packs. The 95 score pastime.
That's a pretty cool.
That's kick ass. I've never seen that one either.
I love these cards so much. I mean,
Look how young that bastard was.
this is, and then you got two pictures there. And I
Mhm.
think that they use the same on the back for, you'll see it, where it's like the QB pastime, that this one, but still,
Yeah.
it's a more up close picture. And that's got the
It's got the
70
75th anniversary logo.
yeah. I'm not. If I see that in anything, I don't complain. No, this one requires two hands. That's what she said.
Oh, Thunder and Lightning.
Oh, that is awesome.
And
Yeah,
then,
those were tough as hell to pull too.
when the craze of putting a card in a card was such a a normal thing in every set, it seemed.
Mhm.
Cardsupials.
Which again, I don't mind them, but if you don't get the big card, small card with it, it's like why?
Yep, it does kind of suck.
In the back, and again, this is like a
I remember those too.
lenticular type, but without the actual movement of the card.
Yep, two-sided.
So I mean, you can sort of see it moving.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just.
Again, I don't know why this is sort of like the playoff, the back-to-backs, unless it was like a big name. But now you got a big name on one side, and you got Eddie Kennison on the other. And there is a gold version to 50, I think, hand number to 50.
Dang.
Yeah, I was trying to think of, because I bought a box of that. Mine's like, is it Moosin, Muhammad, and Dorsey Levens?
That seems like a possible combination.
I haven't seen that one before.
Me neither. And that's a perfect card to describe Brett Favre. That's a set he should be in.
I think it's an Impact 96.
It would have to be because, like, earlier, like 95, 96, of course, TD doesn't have a lot of that.
Rick
stuff.
Meyer. Oh, Dufex.
I remember those.
94 Team Pinnacle.
That's artist proof.
Oh, dang.
96 Summit.
That, Dave,
Oh, here we are. Never mind. Here's the acrylic.
oh, well, there you go. The Brett Favre artist proof that I sent you a picture of a few days back, I took it off my watch list so I wouldn't be tempted to buy it.
Unacceptable.
I know. I've spent $50 worse ways.
Isn't that Kings of the NFL?
It's not that. It's icons, maybe. NFL icons.
Okay.
And again, these are stupid tough. From a pack pull ratio. And again, even on the back, it's got the flames and everything goes together. So two of my favorites, and I know I got more. I just
Goatee Favre was on all the pain pills.
This is correct. This one, the first one, you might run out and literally buy it as I'm talking about it.
Shit.
Okay, here on the back.
I know this card.
this is Z Team.
If it's the vertical one in the throwback uniform. Yeah.
Z-Team.
Yeah. I've tried buying that card so many times, but it's always listed for 5 times what it's actually worth. Nobody will ever put one on auction so I can win it for what I want to pay.
No.
Everybody has those things super high.
And even in person, it dances so much more. And then this one.
Platinum
Portraits, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's another one that them weren't easy to pull.
Nope. Huge in the basketball market too.
Yeah, they are.
Huge in the basketball market.
Yeah, it's weird why the football ones don't translate the way that basketball does, and it's the same for baseball.
Well, and it's the same pack pull ratio. It's not like one's harder than the other. The pack pull ratio is the same.
But basketball is the bigger international sport, so
without a doubt, but still.
That's the Michael Jordan effect. 22 of 22.
Really, Dave?
You can't beat old NT. Ooh. Are these from the Facebook group days?
That one I believe. The NT type stuff, there's going to be a bunch I don't think are, and you'll be able to tell.
Jack. Those are S-Speed. That's probably S-Speed out of 10.
Yep, the TD from that year was S-Speed out of 5.
Whoo. Chunky Terry.
And numbered, so it's not the unnumbered one.
Mm-hmm. Majestic's an underrated set.
That's where I got my Ray Lewis auto as well. And that shocking to see one of these in the collection.
Ooh, no, never. One of your all-time favorite sets, period. Or I should say namesake.
That's nasty.
Another guy that didn't have a lot of shit out there forever in a day.
Especially when it came to patch autos. The bus.
It's the
27.
22.
22.
Mean Joe.
The 25.
Oh, the gold standard days.
Donruss Classic set that year specifically I'll always love. Yeah, that's a great card. That's another guy that doesn't have a lot of game used autos.
No.
That's a great set. Somebody unloaded a Steelers collection.
The worst part about all those guys back in the day, it's them and the Raiders, the two teams I really don't want to pick up. But when I see that stuff, it's just like, no, I'm not letting it go for some cheap price.
Yep.
Inexcusable.
Yep.
I'd rather spend dumb money on that stuff and than other people that chose to put it on Instagram. You still get messages like 2 years later. Barry.
Oh, that's nasty.
And that's a stuff too that I'd love to put together. Oh, and by the way, your video that I have in my watch later list, the first one is Favre pickups from Nationals and how to create, I don't know what, from Big Fish 10 years ago. You're holding up an R-rated something, a DVD, 62, and you didn't even put chunk, you put CUNK for kunk.
Oops. That's likely a video discussing where my username came from. It was
Okay.
a doc. It came from a documentary.
Now that I see it,
and it was called This Film Not Yet.
Yes. And now I see it. And then what have I got?
That was a wild documentary.
So remember,
Take your word for it.
You had a name before that on blog.
Oh, I probably had Wonderboy 83.
Yeah,
That's what it
was.
Spelled Oneater.
Yeah, he was like, who the fuck is this dude? And okay. Yeah, he's good people. Don't worry about him. Okay. No, whatever.
Yeah.
The rest of the gang said he's good. I'm like, okay, I'll go with it.
Yeah.
All these years later, fuck, I shouldn't have went with it.
Shouldn't have.
Should have made a video right away. And yeah, my watch later list is not like, I've got stuff currently.
Yeah.
I've got Denny, MS Walk completed. Thank you from 10 years ago. Stoddy, Comic Store Magic, Boom Sauce, the MS Sketch Pack sent out for Denny 11 years ago. So that would have been like maybe a week or two back. I think April 1st was usually the cutoff.
Yeah,
This guy, I remember people didn't like his name. I remember Jeff, a Lions fan, Tank Tard 20.
Oh, I hadn't heard that name in years.
Then there's some it must be like some Russian crash video because it's all in like Russian. Contest free box is extremely simple and fun. And then all rules and instructions are in the video. Free boxes. My response to my sample is in this. It's underneath the timestamp. But done during 24. Cards Infinity from 11 years ago. Nabil 2012 limited football draft and elite 8-box break.
You want to know something I did, and I did it a few times, is I went to Cards Infinity's page and searched 2009 football and watched every video of him open 2009 football product. Not one time did he pull Clay Matthews.
Which is probably better for you, so you're not like, God damn it, I wish I would have been watching it then I would have known. And
right.
Yeah,
that means you would have watched one of my case breaks then.
Oh, I'm sure I probably did. Yep, and I would watch. I watched so much of 07 Premiere get busted.
Leaf Limited, Premiere, Johnny Lee Higgins. That was like the.
I watched a lot of 07, 08, and then I watched a whole bunch of 2010 product get broke. 2010 Limited, especially.
Oh my God, it's a never-ending supply.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched him pull a lot of nice Sam Bradford stuff.
Yeah.
But I was watching it to see him pull the veterans and Hall of Famers.
Right.
Because that's what limited used to be.
Yep.
Not anymore.
That's what you wanted out of it. And
Yep.
it was full of them.
Yep. Now limited and certified are afterthought products. And it's too bad because those are some of my favorites.
Certified was a staple for a lot of years.
Yeah, the Mirror Black was like the card you wanted. If you were collecting a rookie,
Yep.
that's the 101 you wanted.
Yep.
Because you always knew it was going to have a chunk of jersey, shoe, football, and then a logo shield.
Man, this is a wild video. Watching you talk about this shit.
What's that? You guys both froze up on my screen, so I didn't hear anything you said after I said what I said.
I'll get big and then I'll show you the screenshot of the.
Okay.
Well, you went off video briefly.
Oh, I know. I'm.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I paused.
That is definitely a blast from the past.
That is old. I that Rogers drawing you see up there, it's hanging to my left currently. That's a Sicto piece. That was maybe the last big drawing that Chris did.
Okay.
Before his hands stopped cooperating.
Is yours color?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, because I know the 1 year. Because I know he did a few other smaller ones, kind of in between.
Yeah, he did like Upper Deck Masterpiece ones for people.
But
the card size.
Because the TD was the first year, which is in color. And the second one he did is the Elway that's in black and white because he's like, I can't do the coloring like I used to.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I think it's an 11 by 14. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But yeah, it's in color. And he hated drawing every second of it because it's Rodgers and the Packers. Yeah, but it was Super Bowl one. I commissioned that one.
Yeah, he was the original drawer.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, and I know it killed and frustrated him that he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because he could have done something from a career perspective with that. Because
I remember the video of the big piece that he did of Sevens and Mini Boog.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, he's got the Nolan Ryan one.
Yeah.
That thing's fucking badass.
Yeah, it is.
Well, all of them. And then he's got the Matt Ryan one too, I think.
Yep, that was the first one. I think was the Ryan.
Because then he had the Nolan Ryan was, I think, when he went up there for something, and I don't know if it was that card show that I bumped into them all at in 2012, like the Minnesota Sports Card Show in like end of March, early April. And he had they were there for that, or he was up there for that, and they showed that off. A lot of these, Super Box Break 2014, 2013 Supreme Asia Pacific 5-box break for baseball. And I can't remember. It's got his real name for his channel now. Marv. It was like Marv suited something.
Marv 58 suited.
Mario. It's got 2014
Mario.
recap. Then it's got Ryan. Now he goes by what? Sasquatch Collectors Emporium, the Dominus Infinitus. His national thing, another Big Fish video. Yankee Fan 95. Jay Spartan 98.
98.
2014 Nationals recap from the dump of my hotel room. Stoddy Boy Nationals recap. Wuju Nationals recap. SCC Anthony recap. 2014 Fighter and Inception 2 box break. Den 1013. 2009-10 Be a Player hockey break.
Yes.
It just Sevens. 2003 MLB Hot Prospects. Chad with his giveaway, the winner. Another Anthony one. Another All About the Base thing. Traveling Wilburys. The El Reno. I watched the El Reno thing from fucking way back then. I didn't even realize it. Some Tupelo, Mississippi one. The Dummy, that mannequin short that I've talked about before, I'm sure. That I sound like a USA Up All Night video, like 3:50 in the morning. And then it gets into stuff like a much later on, like watch later. So yeah, it's like B-Roth 6. So I mean, it's like an 8-year gap between like when I utilize that. So yeah, that's insane. So what are the Vikings going to do at some point? Mafisi, whatever the new GM from a year or two back, he put out his usual thing of like, or the usual speak of, well, if the right deal's there, we'll see what we can do. But I fully believe, and again, this is next week. This is, if anybody's watching, Brad will be on NFL Draft on Wednesday. Game Tuesday, game Wednesday, but it's at 1, and then there's a basketball banquet. So I will be probably after 8 getting on. Everybody's going to start without me and probably just talk about like the QB prospects. I'll tell Brad, talk about them for a while, and that should draw the interest of folks because it's QBs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be another time in which Vinny and I will be kicking off the show, which is not something that we normally do.
Or want to ever do.
Hey, we've had to do it a few times. We've had to end a show. It's just not the norm.
Oh, I know. So yeah, and then Thursday there's a game too. So it's just like, love it, but well, no, the Thursday game's away. I think we got 2 home games that week. The Tuesday, and there might be one Friday. So
Busy week.
that's all there is coming up. I mean, it's nothing but like games.
Games.
Yeah.
Did you mention games?
There might be a game or 2 in there. Which again, if she gets better, that's I don't give a shit. That's what yesterday was not a great day for softball at all.
Yeah. It happens.
30-mile-an-hour winds and fucking cold as sin, raining, hail.
That's not.
It's not ideal.
Opportune weather for softball or any outside sport for that matter.
Yeah, and if you watch like the video from yesterday, I put up of the like pitching. It's 20 minutes. If you watch, I think the first 5 or 6 minutes, maybe the first inning, it's pretty good. I think she striked out 2 of the 3. has a catch that sort of bobbled, but she got it again. I hate those to her that just sort of like not like a soft looper. It's the one that's up there, but again, most of the time, first baseman, third baseman should be taking control. They just don't know that because nobody watches fucking any of that stuff. So she got it and popped out, but she got it and then left her rosin bag on the fucking mound. I'm like, well, that's when that gets wet like that. It's like, well, then what do you do? So then second inning, her fingers started getting numb because it was so fucking cold, even with the hand warmers and winter gloves on the bench. So she's pitching like she should, like the technique, and she can't get like the grip because it's fucking freezing. And the other girls are playing bags out there, but they're pitching. They're just doing the like bowling sort of style, and yeah, you can get it across the plate, but you're not improving your technique or doing any of that. So I said, the first inning is what we want. Second inning, fucking wash it away. Literally, who cares?
Not so much.
Yeah, that's not you. That's 100% because of conditions. So, but yeah, lots of that, and then probably lots of fucking practice in between. It's just like, ugh.
'Tis the season.
Oh, I love it. I'm just glad for chairs and buckets that I can sit on. If I had to crouch, I'd probably cut off my legs right now. Why even bother?
I can understand that.
And here you go, Steve. We were talking about this guy earlier today. Topps Chrome Black MLB 11 box break and a 10 box break. What's this? What am I saying? If we just see each other.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
No, well, hold on. This and a 5 box break.
No,
And
Michael did not doze off. He's not asleep. he's looking at something.
Yeah.
He's getting close though.
The eBays, yeah, I'm about ready to call her tonight. The wife got home, and I'll go talk to her for a few minutes before I got to go to bed.
Before you spend any more money.
I've been good. I haven't spent any yet. Because somebody has to buy a new lawnmower.
Ooh.
That's fun.
Mine died this Sunday.
Yeah, that's never fun.
And it lived a long enough life that it isn't worth trying to fix. I'll just go buy a new one. So,
got to do what you got to do, right?
Yep, that's how it works.
But we are about time to wrap up, Dave. We 2.5 hours. So,
yeah, thanks to everybody who watched. Thank you, Michael, jumping on. Hoping to drain your bank account one way or another. Maybe if not from Skybox Premium 97, maybe there's some other cards amongst the the foliage of Favres that entice you. Next week, again, remember, Wednesday, 7:35-ish, Brad will be on NFL Draft Preview. Yeah, going forward, it's going to be just, I don't know. I don't know what day. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on softball. And softball seems to be every day. So you'll know.
We'll try and let you know the show during the show, so you know.
Yep. So.
And no bowling anymore for me, so I don't care what day it is.
Even better.
Yeah. That's earlier than usual, correct?
What's that?
No, I think last week was supposed to be the last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Last week was the last week.
But usually when we're done in May?
Well, yeah, it was only 30 weeks this year. Typically it's 34.
Okay, see, so I thought like mid-May was
I already informed them that I won't be bowling next season, so
Retiring.
yes.
So we may become a foursome more frequently, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh.
Well, yeah, thank you, everybody, joining in, chiming in, indulging in our love for what we have loved since 2019 plus 30 years. So over 100 years combined. And then you had Michael and you had Robert.
Let's
It's
let
a long
Steve do
time.
that math. How long we've been collecting, Steve?
31 years at least. 31.
A long fucking time.
Correct.
In that range.
Well,
Been
I
longer.
can't technically speak for everybody because sometimes numbers change.
Yes, they do. You know that all too well.
Fuck you, Dave.
Hey. It's a family show.
No, it's not. It's because you're on here, so it can never be. It can never be a family show.
This podcast is not yet rated.
This podcast will never be rated.
It won't be rated highly, or if it's going to get a rating, it's going to be the upper echelon of the ratings, where some X's just because you shouldn't watch it, not because of gratuitous nudity, or an NC-17, or just like a no content. I don't know. You can't watch it. Just don't watch. It's just banned. It's like a Faces of Death video. You just know. You don't. Literally, the Faces of Death. So, for Michael, for Steve, I'm Dave. This has been the Instant Revolution podcast. Remember, collecting cards, it's a wonderful hobby. The friendships you forge along the way, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.